Come and join me at Makadi Palace as I show you around, show you what's good, show you what's not so good, perhaps help you with your holiday. Come and join me. Very, very impressive entrance. Incredibly well tended gardens. Let's go in. So this is the lobby. This is the only place in the hotel where you can get Wi-Fi, which is why you'll see people sat around on their phones. This is one of the places in the hotel where, even though it's an all-inclusive hotel, you have to buy drinks. If you look down the bottom, you can see there's a little bar. You have to purchase your drinks here. They are not free. I suspect that's why the Wi-Fi is here, to get you here to order your drinks. That's the reception area. One of our first encounters of the management in the hotel was when we checked in. He was having a row with some German lady about non-payment. She was showing him on her phone. She was going, "Look, I've paid," and he's going, "No, you've cancelled. And they were having words. They were both shouting a little bit. That was our first impression. And then the next minute he turns around to the lady and says, "If you do not keep calm, I shall call the police." And he was shouting at her, and I thought, this is not the best start to a holiday. It's just one of the many things that could do with improvement. The staff here are not great. So let's take a look outside. So upstairs we have this rather gorgeous terraced area. It's nice to come and sit here of an evening, perhaps read a book. It is a massive hotel. If you look all the way around, they are rooms. So just downstairs from the lovely terrace area we have the Joker's bar. So this is where you get your main drinks during the day and during the evening. Had quite a strange incident here yesterday. Came down, asked for 2 waters, but it was past the self-service time. So I wasn't allowed to go up to the bar and ask for water. I was forced to take a seat. He said, "Take a seat and someone will serve you." I said, "I only want 2 waters." He said, "You have to sit down." So I sat down. Someone came across, a different person. He sent someone else across. And he said to me, "What would you like?" I said, 2 waters. He went and got me 2 waters, brought them to the table, and I walked off. This is just one of the many daft rules that stop this place from being the great hotel it could be. I would just rate this hotel as decent. It's not great. It's not poor. It could be so much better. Let's get rid of some of these daft rules. I don't know if you can pick up that breeze. I am wearing mufflers on my microphones to try and reduce it, so I don't know how much of that wind you can hear. There is a major breeze, which is lovely. It is very deceptive though. Makes you think it's cooler than it is. Temperatures are usually in the 40s at the moment. We're here in August. Here's one of the restaurants. They each post up a bit of an information sheet. Sometimes it's got the menu on there. As you see, this one's a reservation on advance, so you have to book this one. There are 7 restaurants in total. Some of them have to be booked, some of them don't. Some of them charge you for drinks, some of them don't. For example, the Mafia restaurant we booked in this evening, you have to pay for your own drinks, but the food's included. Bit of an odd system, we get used to it. I was wrong, there is an upcharge for some of the food too. Choose more wisely than me, people. Choose more wisely than me. So you need to be really careful and make sure you know what you're getting. Some of them charge little bits of extra for meals, but when I say little bits of extra, it's not necessarily little bits. There was a meal we were looking at in a French restaurant. One of the meals had a surcharge on top of what you've already paid for the all-inclusive of 28 euros. So you do need to factor that in. I think that's quite expensive for Egypt. Things are very cheap in reality, but they're very keen to charge us Western prices. I'm going to take you to see one of the swimming pools. This is called the Olympic pool. I'm not sure it's Olympic sized. Not many people use this one. I think it's possibly because it lacks a bit of character. Because if you look at some of the others, they are rather lovely. It's a bit of a maze, this hotel. As I said, lots and lots of rooms. We're currently in 4002. I don't think that I thought 4,000 rooms. I just think it's the numbering system they're using. But this is another swimming pool. And it sort of joins up to the Discovery restaurant. Normally has a waterfall, which is none today, but then it carries on all the way around there. This is the Discovery restaurant, which is where we normally come for breakfast. You need to be careful, there are upcharges for things, as I've said. If you want a freshly squeezed orange juice, you're looking at €2.50 extra to what you've already paid. So though it classes itself as an all-inclusive, it classes itself as 5-star. I'm not quite sure it is either of those things. That's a snack bar in the middle, which is open certain times of the day. Teas, coffees, cokes, crepes. Service in that one is incredibly slow though, so you will probably queue. You'll probably queue for a while. You'll probably not get as much as you want. We sort of wanted a couple of crepes and didn't really get them. So this is sort of a separate pool, and it leads to another restaurant, and this one is called the Dome. So this is the swimming pool outside the Dome. Perhaps I shouldn't have come at lunchtime, but never mind. I might just quickly take you to the snack bar. There is an ulterior motive. I really do fancy a drink. This really is a multinational hotel. There are very few English here. We've literally bumped into one English couple. Oh, just walked in some pool water by mistake. I say by mistake, it's cooling my feet down, so I'm really quite happy with that. If you're interested, it tells you roughly what they have. So this, ladies and gents, is the snack bar. They never seem to have anything ready. They seem to cook one pizza at a time, so you'll wait for that pizza. This is the best bit though. So most of the bars don't do this, you have to go and ask. We've actually got lots of crepes cooking right now, which is unusual. So that was the Rendezvous bar. Yeah, service is a bit slow there. As I say, it's a beautiful hotel. It has got some shortcomings, it's got to be said. Lots of staff are not particularly friendly. There's the odd one or two. Most of them are quite surly, quite grouchy. They just don't seem happy to be here. And it's not nice when the people don't seem happy to be here. And I know you can get that anywhere, but there's lots and lots. So that for me is a major downside of this hotel. Another downside is this business. If you're not out by 6 o'clock, you've not got your towel on your bed, it's not booked, you don't get one. People book them, leave them all sodding day. Don't be that person. Why would you book a bed and then leave it all day? Why get up at 6 o'clock on your holidays to book a sunbed? So they do need more sunbeds. They need, I would say, friendlier staff. I think they need more of these Coke stations where you can just get your own. And I'm just going to walk you down to the sea. I hate to say this, but everyone seems to smoke. So the smell of cigarette smoke just wafts through the air constantly. To someone who doesn't smoke, that is a bit of an annoyance. They sometimes do it in the restaurants as well, which is a bit of a pain. The pools are amazing, the pools are fabulous. You can't really beat them. You can't really beat these pools. Nice and refreshing in this mega hot sun. The nice thing about Makadi Palace is there's always a breeze, it's because we're close to the sea. And yet another swimming pool. This is one place where you won't struggle to find a place. You might struggle to get a sunbed, but the pools are never ever crowded. I think it's because they're so big and there's so many of them. Just gonna try and take you down to the beach. There's plenty of these bird cages where you can shower before you get in the pool and after you get out. The greenery in the hotel is amazing. The gardeners do a brilliant job. As I keep saying, this is not a bad hotel. It's just not a great hotel. It could be a great hotel if the staff cheered up a little bit, tried a little bit harder with the customers. I know it sounds so minor, but But this sunbed thing's so annoying. I think that's a bit of a play area there. Some wheelbarrows. So this is the beach. People would generally rather sit around the pool. You don't have a problem getting a space around the beach. And I think it's because it's not a particularly impressive beach. I'll show you anyway. The Red Sea itself is absolutely gorgeous, and if you step in, even in the shallow waters around here, you will see some fish. And you do in the sea have to wear some type of shoe. My Crocs work just fine, because before very long it does end up quite rocky, and then as you carry further and further out, it just continues to be more and more rocky. So not the best beach in the world, but it's natural. I wouldn't suggest changing it for the world. It's just this bit I'm not particularly keen on. They do have on the beach, which is quite handy, a little bar where you can get some drinks. They will bring them to your cabana if you wish, but it helps have some drinks. Hello. A rare bout of niceness there. So we've just had a 5-hour drive from Luxor to Hurghada, absolutely shattered, but they told us our room has been upgraded on this leg of the tour. So let's see what we're getting. We're in room 4002 here at the Makadi Palace. This is an upgraded room. We were in a junior suite. I'm not quite sure what this is classed as. I'm just putting the key in. But this is so much bigger than what we had before. This is absolutely massive. There's the usual artwork on the wall. There is so much storage space. We have a double balcony, absolutely huge balcony with a couple of lounges. We have the hotel, a couple of chairs and a table. We've got a full fridge. There's nothing in it. A mini bar would have been nice. Balcony. You go missing for the day and this is what happens. They've replaced the fridge. We had a big fridge. It was a very old-fashioned fridge, to be fair. It was noisy. But this one's tiny and it's not got an ice compartment, which is what we really, really wanted. But never mind, you can't have everything. Out with the old, in with the new. Got a kettle, which we didn't have in the other room. A whole ton of storage space. Television with a remote. Massive bed. Big enough for 3. Telephone. So an absolutely huge bedroom. But then if you come with me, we've got a lounge area as well. Got a wardrobe, mini safe, extra pillows, a big plasma TV, and more storage space. So this is the lounge area. You can see Charlie enjoying some films in there. And then here's the bathroom. Got a large mirror. Nice bath. Separate toilet and bidet. Hose pipe to wipe your bottom with a mixture. The obligatory phone, because who doesn't need a phone? Then we've got a separate bath with hand gel and a clothesline. And then we have a stand-in shower. Looks a bit grubby in the corners. But no, far superior to the room we had before. Very old-fashioned hairdryer. and a mirror. Having spent the first night here in the new room, I can say it is very, very comfortable. Air conditioning works great, bed's a bit firm, pillows are very, very soft, and it's been a very, very comfortable sleep. I've been looking at this tapestry on the wall, and it's reminded me of something, and I couldn't see what. I see it now. It's a fuzzy felt. So in a nutshell, that's the Makadi Palace. Is it a great hotel? No. Is it a rubbish hotel? No, it's just in the middle. A few little minor improvements would make this great. Improve the staff, more sunbeds, try and do something about the food. The food isn't bad, you will find something you like, but it's a bit canteen-like, and there's always a massive queue to get anything. Let's cut down on the queues. We don't come in all day to queue. We may be British, but we don't want to do that. Let's go over to Charlie, see what he thinks.
This hotel is amazing. It is one of the best I've ever seen. It is so large with so many things to do. Like, for example, the Sunset Bar has lots of events on at different times where you can go and do things. Although I don't like the bar system and how they give you like different, like small drinks, and how you're not allowed to walk away with your drinks. I think that's really stupid.
So, two very different opinions there. It's always good to get the other side, isn't it? But as I say, I don't really think this is 5-star. I think it's more like a 3 or a 4. But try it out for yourself. Bye for now.